welcome back everyone, and it's time to go balls deep. Today we're discussing all the future deaths that could possibly happen in Boruto due to the clues left behind in the writing and the events that have occurred so far. I'm talking about Shikamaru, Hinata, Konohamaru, and obviously the one that will hit all of us the most and actually make me go through the 5 stages of grief. I'm telling you now, I'm gonna be angry. I'm talking about Sasuke. Boruto's story is developing more and more to the point where major deaths won't be too far away. Momoshiki had prophesied that Boruto's blue eyes would one day take everything away from him. And what's the most important thing to Boruto, ladies and gentlemen? Burgers?
No!
Filler?
No!
Sumire and Sarada's cheeks?
FBI, open up!
You degenerates. It's obviously those he cares for. His sister Himawari, Sasuke, Naruto, Kawaki, and his teammates. The list goes on and on. Boruto quickly bonds with those he meets. He even cried when Onaki died despite only meeting him for a few days. Didn't you cry about Onaki?
Who?
The old Stone Hokage?
Who?
The one that Madara faced?
Who?
Trash? Okay, that is a bit of a violation. I'm obviously kidding, but this does prove Momoshiki's prophecy for Boruto is coming true, making the foreshadowing of someone important to Boruto dying. We cannot forget about Kurama the Nine Tails. And just look at the state of Konoha in the time skip, man. You really think this didn't cause the bodies to pile up? Oh, by the way, this video is in collaboration with our friend Naruto Explained, so make sure to support him and our channel by hitting the notification bell for the channel and smash the like button on this video to let us know you want more future collabs on various topics.
However, there's something you guys need to know before we continue, and that is that Figure Fantasy is the world's first ever 3D figurine themed card game. There's various styles of figurines for you to collect, ranging from cool street style, mechanical futuristic style, historical retro style, and more. All with their own personalities and, dare I say it, adorable characteristics. The collected figurines can also be placed in a model display cabinet and decorated with furniture with various themes. Now, I know, it sounds great already, right? I mean, collecting waifus is a dream, but there's even more. The gameplay combines both strategic battle and idle style gameplay. So even when you're not playing, you're playing.
What?
Your figurines will be working hard to earn resources for you while you're busy doing other things like reading that Black Clover greatness. And once you're done with that, you can hop back in and view the 3D battles from different angles with gorgeous animations for the ultimates. Oh, and one last thing. We know you like your gacha games, and Figure Fantasy has one of the most engaging gacha experiences out there. So what are you waiting for? The first ever 3D figurine themed idle mobile game, Figure Fantasy, is out now. Click the link in the pinned comment and description to start your unique adventure today. Now back to the video.
So first on the hit list is Sasuke. I know, not Sasuke good, Batman Sensei. I can't let this happen. Well, unfortunately, I think this is one of the most likely deaths in the entire series, as it makes the most sense from a story standpoint with the most clues that have been left for us to decipher. The writers want to make Sasuke play the role of sensei to Boruto, and even admitted in interviews that they really like the idea of having Naruto train Sarada and Sasuke train Boruto. Boruto said he wanted to be a ninja just like Sasuke when he was older, because he's cool, calculated, intelligent, sexy.
5 minutes later.
Batman Sensei, he has a harem, he has the best design, the best looking jutsu, the most jutsu, the best backstory. And what do you know about every single person Sasuke loved? I'll give you 5 seconds to think about it. You're right, they are dead. Every single person Sasuke loved whilst developing as a ninja had died. And when we look at the time skip, Boruto has copied Sasuke's drip and attitude. Boruto even refers to him as Uncle Sasuke, similar to how Naruto would refer to Jiraiya as Pervy Sage. Both nicknames seem mean at face value, but both are meant with the maximum amount of love. Wait, that last sentence I said didn't make sense about they both seem mean at face value, because Uncle Sasuke isn't mean. So delete that one sentence.
No.
Plus, we all know that all shonen protagonists need a master they can look up to, and they always end up in the grave too, just like the GOAT Jiraiya. Now, as painful as that was back then, its everlasting impact on the story was worth it, as it helped Naruto grow and mature as a man that understands the feeling of losing someone close to them. Therefore, the same writing style can be done with Boruto. We all know that Boruto was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. When you look at the first chapter, he calls himself a brat, but this is my story and how I changed as a person. Let's not pretend that's not the correct case. So having the #1 ninja he inspires to be like and spend time with him actually die, it would help Boruto realize the truth of the shinobi way, as the only taste of death he's experienced that impacted him was Oniki. But even then, that was quite minuscule in comparison to the kind of impact someone like Sasuke would have on him, helping him develop from young lord to young man. In the Naruto series, the theme revolves around the cycle of hatred and revenge, along with the loss of life and how it can affect the loved ones they leave behind. Ultimately, the Naruto series bottled the real life problem we face in our day to day, but on a grander scale. When looking back on things, everyone encounters some sort of strife of pain in their life, but for some, the pain can be greater than others, which ultimately creates a ripple effect on society and the world as a whole. The only way to solve the big issues in life is truly understanding others and their pain. Even Jiraiya mentioned that and tried to teach that to Naruto. In the Boruto series, the philosophy of understanding others also gets brought up, but things are shifted to a more modern era. So Jiraiya's death was essential for Naruto's growth, even according to Kishimoto in many interviews. This was because Naruto had to understand Sasuke's pain. Jiraiya being killed gave Naruto the incentive to become stronger for revenge. This was also Sasuke's attitude. However, with Naruto, after understanding Nagato's pain, he realized that revenge would make him just like everyone else, continuing the cycle of hatred, ultimately making him a hypocrite against Sasuke. This was an evolutionary step Naruto required to help him become the child of prophecy the ninja world needed. Now we know that Boruto also has a prophecy to save the world from Tonori, so maybe for him to require to become that star of hope that Tonori described, he has to lose someone close to him. We know that Boruto aspires to be just like Sasuke. However, what he doesn't realize is that beneath the layers of badassery is a whole lot of sadness and sorrow. One of the prevalent philosophical messages the series is continuing from Naruto is the aspect of human beings going through pain, as it is fundamentally one thing all of us share by existing. Everyone shares the same pain. However, because of that, it helps you understand others' perspectives and come to harmony. Therefore, if Boruto wants to be just like Sasuke, that includes his morality, emotional thinking, and logical thinking as well. Boruto has to go through the same pain just like his father Naruto did at one point. This means losing Sasuke would be that powerful plot device that would make it so. We all know he's a man who has suffered a lot throughout his life, but now in Boruto he strives to make a positive difference in the world and help protect it. This is why he refuses the Hashirama arm to pay for his sins, as he doesn't trust himself with the power he would hold if he had that extra arm, as he doesn't want to risk the safety of those he loves anymore. Now, I know that doesn't make much sense anymore, as Code is planning to destroy the entire planet. Come on Sasuke, like even when Sakura offered you the arm, you said a shinobi deals with the hand that they are dealt, but come on bro, that don't make no sense!
That don't make no sense!
Throughout the Boruto series, Sasuke has teamed up with Boruto many times. He has already battled against Otsutsuki to save the world, such as Momoshiki. Sasuke was shown to encourage Boruto to believe in himself in battle when he makes him perform his Rasengan in a crucial fight. Boruto was the whole reason they won. Their bond has been shown to be quite strong. Furthermore, in chapter 48, Sasuke mentioned himself to Boruto as Ishiki invaded Konoha that he and Naruto are willing to die for the village no matter the cost. The anime anime added onto this scene, where afterwards Sasuke admits that he nerfed himself and he couldn't bring himself to kill Boruto once he transformed into Momoshiki, but next time he will make sure that he does. He is 100% ready to die for the village. The anime and manga have made him repeat this at least 3 times. This is obviously a red flag, as the foreshadowing does not stop there. Sasuke Uchiha is also a very important figure to his daughter Sarada. Sarada herself gained her Sharingan through the sheer thought and love of wanting to meet him again. Although I have explained before that Sarada wants to be like Naruto, so check out that video if you haven't, Sasuke is still her father, and they share a deep bond since she is an Uchiha and they have the same eyes, which Sasuke would be the only one that truly understands. For example, we see this deeper connection through Sarada trying to learn more history about the Uchiha clan in the anime when she visits the library, or her questioning Sakura and Sasuke about the history of their clan and how to unlock the Mangekyo Sharingan. Sasuke has also been depicted multiple times in the anime, for example in the Parent and Child Day episode, that he believes in Sarada that she should be the Hokage and can achieve her dream of becoming the first Uchiha to do so. Also, in the time skip, we can see a 16-year-old Boruto with many marks on his body and a huge scar on his eye. His whole attire is much different, matching Sasuke. Ikemoto, who designed Boruto for this fight, did state that some changes in design can occur in the future, but what they showed was definitely going to occur in Boruto's future with the scar and such. The information that was released for Boruto's teen artwork, it confirmed to have Sasuke Uchiha's sword and cape in the design sheets. It literally says that Boruto is wielding them. Fans believe that these are all indicators that point towards Sasuke Uchiha dying and passing them on to Boruto as his next prodigy and as his student. Let's be honest, Sasuke has been completely nerfed. Even in the anime when he still had the Rinnegan, my man never had chakra. They are setting him up from this is conspiracy out here, but they want to kill Sasuke out the story. I can't take this, I'm even saying it, bro. No.
Thank you, Adil. Now, one possible loss is Konohamaru. Part of me wants to say that he's going to live his life all peacefully and survive until the very end because, you know, he's going to become the Hokage. I can't even say it with a straight face.
Hold on, what?
Remember, guys, Konohamaru is going to be the next Hokage, yeah? Okay, all jokes aside, we all know that Konohamaru was done dirty in the Boruto series, and we wanted him to grow up and be that Kakashi figure that we all had. You know, the badass jonin who we looked up to in awe, teaching the next generation. Yeah, no.
Bro, you're trash, bro.
Konohamaru has been outclassed by his own students multiple times in the series, to the point where I think that all 3 of them would probably be able to take Konohamaru down in a 1v1 battle. I mean, like, Konohamaru's lost like 90% of the fights he's involved in, it feels like. Other characters are just always saving him. Remember when he admitted he would have lost to the evolved White Zetsu if it wasn't for Sasuke saving his life? Or Kashinkoji destroying him in 2 seconds, burning him alive, but Boruto jumped in to save the day with the karma? And let's not forget Ao beating him and Boruto making the strategy to defeat him instead of his own sensei. Now, I'm not saying he will die just because he's lackluster and weak, but, well, kinda. But not for a meme this time. We actually have some solid evidence which points towards Konohamaru's fate. We all know that predestined fate is a huge thing in the Naruto universe. Neji went on about it, and you of course had the reincarnations of Indra and Asura, the child of prophecy, etc, etc. Even in chapter 47 of the Boruto manga, Ishiki Otsutsuki states that all genes have a predestined fate. Momoshiki was also able to see Boruto's fate using his Byakugan in episode 64, implying that Boruto's future had already been set in stone, backing up what Ishiki mentioned about predestined fate. Now, in episode 180 of the anime, Mugino meets a fortune teller who mentions that the shadow of death follows a close friend of yours. We all know that friend is of course Konohamaru. You could view this in 2 ways. Shadow in this case may be referring to Mugino, who, as we know, dies and is a close friend of Konohamaru's who followed him until until his death. But we could also view the shadow as a metaphor for death itself, closely following Konohamaru until the time is right. And if we look into his heritage, an interesting pattern begins to emerge. His grandfather, the third Hokage Hiruzen, sacrificed himself for the sake of the village. We then also have Asuma, his uncle, who also died via sacrifice. In this instant, he was Hidan's sacrifice to Lord Jashin that allowed him to continue being immortal. His parents we don't know, but they were members of the Onbu and so likely died protecting their village as well. All of his closest relatives and one of his closest friends Mugino all died a sacrificial death. We could possibly see a future in which Konohamaru follows in these footsteps and dies an admirable death to save his squad and village. I think that this would be the best way to wrap his character up, because he simply does not have the accolades to allow him to become the 8th Hokage that we all dreamt for him to be. But if he dies saving his village, he can die knowing he protected those who loved him, which may not quite be the Hokage he dreamt of, but it's close enough. After all, the Hokage not only protects the village like his family, but also overlooks the growth of the next generation to ensure the village is in safe hands for the future. So by Konohamaru recognizing that Team 7 has already surpassed him and are a more important asset to the future safety of the village than himself, who has no family left, he would accept his fate, think about his grandfather who sacrificed his own life to protect them, as that's what the Hokage would do. In doing so, he would also pass on his will to Sarada, who he knows wants to become Hokage just like he did. And not only would this be important for Boruto's character, like many on this list, but the whole of Team 7. And we often forget that Naruto and Konohamaru share a very tight-knit and respectful bond that would surely hurt Naruto if he learned that Konohamaru sacrificed himself for his son and his village. The ongoing motif between the two is that Konohamaru is Naruto's rival, and one day will take the Hokage role from him. But we can't forget that Sarada is Naruto's student according to the intentions of the writers for the future. So this again could mean that the will of fire will be passed on to Sarada to push her character forward even further. We also asked a lot of you guys on Twitter and you all thought the same. And remember, if you guys want to have a chance to be featured in future videos, by the way, make sure you go follow us over on Twitter so you can give your input in the topics that we cover.
Next up is Naruto. Now I know what you're thinking.
Impossible.
But the speculation surrounding Naruto's future has been a hot topic for years in the community, and one popular theory is that he will in fact die. We do know that Naruto is nowhere to be seen in the timescape, and Kawaki makes it obvious that he is the one responsible. But I have good news for all of you. Naruto won't in fact die at all. This time, I actually want to debunk why he won't die. Firstly, the story has progressed a lot since the good old days, where everyone expected Kawaki to be the big supervillain who killed Naruto. Some theorize that perhaps Kawaki in the flash forward is actually Ishiki or Amado, but we also know that's not the case anymore because my man's dead. It's becoming more and more obvious that Kawaki's motives are not ones fueled by destruction and death like Code. He wants to do all he can to assure his father, Naruto, is safe. After all, Naruto is the one who offered him a helping hand in life to save him from the terror he experienced all throughout his childhood as he saw himself in Kawaki. What's interesting is that Code specifically said in chapter 62 of the Boruto manga that the only way to escape his plan of planting the god tree and sucking up all the life from the planet is by escaping to another dimension. Now obviously Sasuke can't do this anymore, and even if he could, he wouldn't have the time or chakra to teleport every single person on the planet to another dimension, leaving only Boruto to do so as he has the karma. However, Boruto wouldn't want to leave behind the village and everyone else. He'd want to fight and keep the peace his father worked so hard towards, as he is a shinobi after all. Boruto wouldn't be able to bear the thought of watching his home planet be destroyed by Code and the Otsutsuki. The series has established many times now in the anime that Boruto has bonds that spread far beyond the walls of just Konoha, and he would fight to preserve this. Kawaki, on the other hand, has bonds with the Uzumaki family, and that's mostly it. He only cares about Naruto's life. Amado even mentions that Kawaki's infatuation with Naruto is more than even love. Kawaki also showed in chapter chapter 56 or 57 or so that he doesn't exactly agree with the philosophy of a shinobi anyway, where he wanted to skip the basics of training to skip straight to combat. So why should Kawaki care for anyone else when throughout his entire life they never cared for him? Even the rest of Konoha look at him funny and don't like him, and Shikadai had to comfort him. He will most definitely in the future take up Amado's offer of having another karma bestowed upon him so that he can accomplish the mission himself to save Naruto and keep him safe, which is to trap him into another dimension, as Naruto wouldn't have space-time ninjutsu. This makes much more sense when you also look at his wording in the flash forward. I'll send you to where I sent the 7th Hokage, Boruto. This doesn't mean to the afterlife at all. He's telling Boruto he will send him to another dimension with the rest of his family because he sees him as a brother, same way he sees Naruto as a father. Plus, Kurama already sacrificed himself for Naruto's life and everyone else. If Naruto still died regardless in the future, it could run the risk of making Kurama's sacrifice feel less important, even though it was.
Well, if it's not, killing off the cute and cuddly Himawari is a surefire way of creating a sense of true danger in the series, because the death of a beloved character who is also a non-combatant goes a long way towards changing the tone of the series. If someone like Sasuke died, we'd all be pissed, but Sasuke dying in a battle is something that we could accept as readers. Any fight could be the last fight that someone has. In this world of ninjas, we've grown accustomed to it, and so do those fighting as ninja. However, killing off a character who not only is beloved but also has enormous potential is the easiest way to establish a well-smirched situation and make it clear that no character is safe. Killing children is already very tough in literature, but when it's done correctly, it has a huge emotional impact. A future that was once thought to be so bright and wide is now gone. Himawari's death works two ways. The easiest when she accidentally takes Boruto's Byakugan pills and overdoses. The second is where you establish a vet-smirched situation where we've seen Himawari during a time of peace, we've seen her become unsure of her future, and before killing her, we see her settle on what she wants out of life, only to have that door slammed shut with her death. It makes you realize what it is that we've lost, and seeing Boruto hold the lifeless body of his sister, that will send chills down the spine of everyone who sees that scene. More importantly, it forces Boruto to come to a crossroads with his character by confronting a level of anger that he's never faced before. The impact on Himawari's death on Boruto will make him remember Momoshiki's prophecy, and it creates a fight or flight instinct. Does he fight against what seems to be a bleak future, or does he run away from it by walking the wrong path? Dealing with the loss of a sibling through an unjust circumstance is something that could bring Boruto closer to his mentor Sasuke. Good character deaths are deaths that are heart-wrenching for three people: a character close to the deceased, the author, and the reader. One way of establishing this is to go back to the vase that Himawari made for Hinata that Kawaki shattered. Perhaps use the vase as an anchor for Himawari, where she dies before she can make a new vase for Kawaki, or you find a clever way to use the vase as symbolism for a character in the same way that Kishimoto used a caged bird for Neji's death, but in this case, make it a vase for Himawari, which is very fitting given the pun on her name is for sunflowers. Closing the door on a character like Himawari, who Boruto is very protective of, just as she finds a purpose for herself, while it is cruel, it does something that immediately makes whoever kills her one of the most hated characters in the series, and it also creates a sense of powerlessness and injustice, which makes the moment when Boruto breaks the prophecy feel earned, because we know Boruto getting to this point didn't come without a loss.
Now let's talk about everyone's favorite waifu, Hinata. If you truly want to show that the PG era of Boruto is over, killing off Hinata is one route to go, especially after Boruto chapter 64, when Naruto is worried for her safety when she attempts to help him in the fight against Code. On top of that, have you seen her fighting ability lately?
No.
Well, it's not up to par, and I know it's a tough pill to swallow regarding your favorite waifu, but the fact remains that she hasn't been training and has quit being a ninja for a decade, and when she tried to help Naruto against Momoshiki in the anime, she instantly failed, not making any difference, and was hospitalized where Sakura was treating her. However, if Hinata is chosen to be a character, when killing off a character of her magnitude, someone who is a beloved legacy character, it has to be handled with great care, or we riot, fam. This is our waifu, fam. You can't just kill her off to show off how strong the new bad guy is. That's just lazy writing. Instead, just as Kurama the Nine-Tails gave his life in a way that stayed true to his character and had a legacy-defining purpose by giving his life so that Naruto could beat Ishiki Otsutsuki, you have to write an impactful situation for Hinata as well. Think about Neji. Wait, no, that was a terrible death. He died to a freaking toothpick, even though he had trigon rotation and he's a prodigy. That was forced. Never mind.
I believe I can fly.
My point is, that's a perfect example of what not to do. Neji's death wasn't that great. I think all of us as a community can agree to that. There's a fine line between a successful character death and one that has no emotional impact or is too sudden to get the maximum narrative effect. Readers are smart, we're not stupid. They know when a character is only being written in a story just to die. For example, Neji. In contrast, the way you do this for Hinata is by complementing her strongest attribute as a character, her loyalty and sense of love for her family. Hinata is willing to sacrifice herself. We have seen her do it before against Pain, and this is the very reason Naruto made sure she didn't come into battle with Code in chapter 64, because he doesn't want Himawari to suffer the same pain he had of losing his parents at an early age. Therefore, placing Hinata in a situation where she's forced to protect her daughter Himawari from a threat, it's the easiest way to resurface her selfless nature. The only way this works is if you play with the concept of Weltschmerz, which is where a character death forces the readers to compare the fictional world as it exists to the way they wish that it was. The way you accomplish this is by doing what Kishimoto did with Jiraiya in the Naruto manga, which is giving the character small anchors that have clear endpoints, and then you sever the ties to that anchor. Kishimoto gave Jiraiya 3 anchors just before he had Pain kill him off.
He needs some milk.
Number 1 was watching Naruto become Hokage and believing he was the child of prophecy. Number 2 was supporting Tsunade as a Hokage. And number 3 was finally the unspoken condition of his bet with Tsunade, where he returned alive. She would finally give them their date as they were in love. As we all know, Jiraiya chose death so he could pass on the intel needed to give Naruto and Tsunade a chance to beat Pain, and he had faith in his own prophecy that he will be the one that trained the child of prophecy. Establishing anchors for Hinata is a lot easier than it was for Jiraiya. Would any of us question her giving her life to protect her child? No! Woman fought Pain and Momoshiki, despite knowing she was nothing compared to them. All that's left is to capitalize on the moments where we saw Hinata holding Himawari while she slept and smiled at watching Boruto as he did. And you do so by giving her an anchor with a clear end goal. Himawari recently declared in the anime she wants to be a ninja, and the story did ensure that Hinata would bring up the idea regarding what direction her daughter could go. Therefore, Hinata's goal could be linked to Himawari becoming a ninja, placing Hinata in a situation where she has to protect those she cares for once again. That will tie in well with the idea of the shinobi age being over in the future, since she does hold up the traditions of the ninja world by being the princess of the Hyuga clan, as well as, having Hamura Otsutsuki's chakra, one of the progenitors with Hagoromo that created the jutsu world system. So if Hinata gave her life away to protect her daughter Himawari to keep the age of shinobi going, just as Boruto is trying to do in the future, that will be extremely metaphorical and good story writing, that she's willing to give her life away for the dreams to live on instead of everything going to death.
Okay, so moving on. Let's say that the writers can't bring themselves to kill Boruto's sensei, Sasuke. Because, come on, it's freaking Sasuke. My guy's been butchered enough in the series, alright? Let's just give him a break, goddammit. Another potential outlet that they have to try and recreate the same kind of sensei dying pain for Boruto to experience is by killing off Kakashi. The Boruto anime, after all, has shown that Kakashi and Boruto have built a very cruel to be kind relationship, which has always been a kind of staple part of Kakashi's training. He was one of the first people to recognize Boruto's unwavering potential potential during the Genin exams by saying his level was that of a Chunin, and also noted that he has the skill of his grandfather Minato. Even after the harsh truth bomb Kakashi dropped on Boruto back then about what it took to be a ninja, Boruto would still seek out his help developing his skills in the future. Kakashi was the one that watched over and aided in Boruto's training in not just the wind style Rasengan, in a similar way to how he helped Naruto learn the Rasen Shuriken. He also helped him develop his compressed Rasengan to the point where he even organized for Boruto to fight Shijoji again in a spar, despite him being firmly locked behind bars for his involvements with the Mujina gang. And let's not forget that this compressed Rasengan is nothing to laugh about. This jutsu has been vital in destroying Deeper, and even saved Sasuke's life against Ishiki. And it's because of the potential that he saw that Kakashi went that far to ensure that Boruto's training went as well as it could so that he could achieve his full potential. So despite the story pushing the narrative of Sasuke being his main mentor, Kakashi has actually played a vital role in Boruto's development too, which is why they could choose to kill him off instead of Sasuke to achieve a similar effect, or heaven forbid, even both. Thematically, this would also make sense, as Kakashi's death will not only just impact Boruto's development, but also the shinobi world as a whole. With Naruto and Sasuke either being dead or locked away, losing Kakashi would highlight the reality that Kawaki was going on about in the flash forward that we saw at the start of the series. Also, you have to ask yourself, where has Kakashi been in the manga? Well, Ikimoto did say in 2019, and I quote, "It'd be a spoiler, but you have to wonder, why doesn't Kakashi-sensei get much screen time even though he's such a popular character? What a mystery." Not that I can say anything about it, so this means that there's something going on with Kakashi, right? If he can't tell us because it's a spoiler, could it be that they're planning to kill him? Nah, in all seriousness, we all know that Kakashi is a former Hokage and therefore is ready to die for his village at any moment, as he knows what it takes. So him dying may just be a possibility in the future, whether we like it or not.
But now let's move away from senseis and family members of Boruto to his teammate, and I'm talking about Mitsuki. For those even for a second that was thinking about Sarada, have you lost your mind? Sarada is going to be the next Hokage, possibly even Boruto's main chick. You know, Sumire doesn't take that position, which means she ain't gonna die. Like, come on, this girl needs to preserve the Uchiha blood. However, on the other hand, Mitsuki is a very unique character when it comes to Boruto, as he's a synthetic human being. He was created in a lab from scratch by Orochimaru, and because of this, it gives the writers some room to play around with his character and make him in some ways disposable. And because we know that Orochimaru has other Mitsukis ready to go if needed be, it shows how easily he can be replaced. Therefore, it would actually be relatively smart by the writers should they decide to kill him, as they could logically reintroduce him into the story again afterwards without it, you know, seeming like an asshole. Now, of course, the Mitsuki we know would be dead, and this new Mitsuki would likely have a different personality and memories, which still fills the story with a sense of loss, even though Orochimaru would have recreated him. Although there is a possibility that Orochimaru saves his memories and something like that and then somehow implants it into the Mitsuki. But then we get into the concept of soul and what distinguishes the person from the personality, memories, and you know, what's inside of them. Like, come on, this is some deep stuff that was covered in the Octa arc. Either way, Mitsuki dying is also possible due to his devotion towards Boruto. Countless times throughout the story, he has been moments away from sacrificing it all to save Boruto. He even went to charge head on with Momoshiki Otsutsuki alone to save him before being stopped by Uroshiki. He also has a special curse mark located in his body placed by Orochimaru. Of course, knowing Orochimaru, you know, because he loves his curse marks after all, but this curse mark actually acts as a detector that is set to go off and self-destruct Mitsuki. So even if the writers have decided to scrap that plot point, as it seemed they have, Mitsuki would still lay down his life on the line to protect his son without a second thought. Mitsuki's death would also be some much needed development for Orochimaru in Boruto 2. We never thought he could be capable, however Orochimaru clearly loves Mitsuki and will go a long way for him. Yes, part of him still views him as an experiment, hence why he has loads of other Mitsukis in incubation and has the curse mark ingrained in him. You can't take the scientist out of Orochimaru, unfortunately, but he's a parent too now. Even back during the deeper arc, Mitsuki received received a fatal injury and needed an organ transplant to survive, and that process would have taken a month. If his tubes were removed, then he could have died at any moment. It seemed nigh impossible for Mitsuki to regroup with Team 7 to help them face against Deepa, but after Orochimaru tested Mitsuki's resolve, realizing he was desperate to join up with them, he authorized the organ transplant of Mitsuki's older clone brother Log to Mitsuki, allowing Orochimaru to take him to face against Deepa. He went above and beyond for Mitsuki, proving that he has a strong parental connection with him. So Mitsuki's death would also be a really interesting 180 for Orochimaru's character, as we would then be able to see him mature and turn his story from one of greed to one of loss.
Now, let's talk about the sensory queen of the ninja world and the pinnacle of beauty that we all love, Ino Yamanaka. Apart from getting everybody in existence to simp for, she also leads the Konoha barrier team. Due to her strong sensory abilities, Ino can sense one's chakra nature instinctually, and she is a crucial part of Konoha's defense and prevented many potential disasters by communicating the information by using her jutsu. For example, Naruto would have been in major trouble if Ino hadn't informed him of Delta's arrival, and she also let the evacuation process start early during Ishiki's raid. She is also one of the biggest causes for Code's passive play in the current arc, as she can identify his presence very easily. As you can see, she doesn't fight on the front lines, but she plays a very crucial role as a binding force with the platoons. As we've seen in the 4th Great Ninja War, destroying the sensory unit will disrupt the whole force, and it will force them back onto their back foot. The sensory unit was also top priority for Pain's assault as well, for obvious reasons. In the same way, destroying the sensory unit and barrier unit proved to be very advantageous. By killing Ino, they'll also rid Konoha of its sensory and communication core, and also deal a major psychological blow, as Ino is quite formidable as a shinobi as well. Doing so can buy the invaders a few moments of surprise at the very least, potentially leading to their victory.
Now, who exactly could put the village in danger? The center stage villain Code, of course. Carrying Ishiki's will, this fanboy wants to become the real thing. After Ishiki's death, he passed his will of becoming the Otsutsuki god down to Code, his devout simp, worshipper. But it doesn't actually seem like Code has what it takes to conquer the ninja world. While he's been on a roll due to Ada's help, it doesn't seem like she's interested in his plan at all. If she gets Kawaki, then she'd drop her alliance with Code as soon as possible. Remember, Ada teamed up with Code to pursue true love, which is common for others, but near impossible for her. It is obvious that her powers are otherworldly, and she isn't interested in that. She longs for normality. Hence, a normal world is, populated by people, has lush green gardens and flora and all that nice stuff, yada yada yada. That is her utmost desire. Yeah, well, in order to achieve that, she and Kawaki sort of need to, populate the planet per se. But it's not like there's going to be a planet there to populate to become a booming civilization in a few years' time if Code gets his way anyway. This will suit her plans really well too, especially due to how the recent events in the manga are turning out. If Code somehow manages to take Kawaki with him, then Ada can have a private conversation with him. There, she can propose her ultimate plan to him, which will benefit the both of them. They will act like they're in an alliance with Code, but Ada will feed false information to him, who's obviously then going to believe it because of Ada's powers, and then this would lead to his demise through the hands of the shinobi world. Because we all know that Code isn't the brightest bulb out there from Kawaki's information about him, so him managing to understand the shenanigans that people like Naruto and Boruto can pull off is near impossible. Now, why would Ada go so far to betray him, you ask? Well, it's pretty simple. Kawaki's ready to sacrifice himself for who? Naruto, who's Code's #1 target. Naruto. Hence, Ada will put a proposal that she can save his beloved Naruto, the world, and him just for some sweet loving. And he's obviously going to do that because, well, it's free pussy at the end of the day, innit? While it is a possibility that he won't truly love her, which is against what Ada wants, it's not like Naruto getting killed will make her only lover obsessed with her, is it? In fact, it's almost guaranteed that she has to tie him down in some way or other to make sure that he doesn't kill her at any possible moment. On top of this, those that have been watching the channel lately will know our insane theory regarding Amado and how he's actually been manipulating Code this entire time. He was the one who gave Code his white karma seal, making it actually a scientific ninja tool. Yes, I know. mind-blowing. The vision Code saw of Ishiki when he passed down his will was actually a hologram. Yes, and so, even though Code won't have directly inherited Ishiki's will in the way he thought he had, he will still follow the same fate as him, and that being betrayal. Obviously, Ishiki was first betrayed by his partner Kaguya, and then later Amado, which led to his death. Well, similarly, Code will be betrayed by his partner Ada, and then Amado once again, as he is the mastermind behind it all, leading to Code's demise. If you want to know more about why Amado is actually manipulating Code and how he's actually an Otsutsuki who is responsible for the future we see at the beginning of Boruto, because trust me, you don't want to miss out on this analysis, then make sure to check the video being displayed to you right now, and ding that notification bell of course so you don't miss out on all of our other future Boruto content.
With that, let's end this video with another crucial character, Shikamaru, one of the most important OG of the Naruto series. As if you guys forgot, he was Naruto's very first friends when they were little kids, and now one of his closest advisors. Shikamaru got everything needed to become a top tier shinobi, amazing inherited jutsu, battle intellect, experience, and most importantly, a cool ass beard, you name it. But whilst he always jumped through the ranks with ease, the risk of his life kept increasing too. Being the Hokage's right hand, it would be safe to assume that his life is pretty much on the line, same as the Hokage's. Like, let's not forget that Shikamaru takes all the major decisions in Naruto's where needed to be, and also has the same information that the Hokage has. This makes him an important victim of kidnapping, as his utility is worth the risk. Taking out the Hokage's advisor would prove to be a massive advantage during battle, as the Hokage would lose their most trusted ally, and the village loses a crucial piece of both the defense and offense, as Shikamaru is arguably best strategist in the shinobi world. But the main reason Shikamaru is even on this list is because of the recent events of chapter 64 in the Boruto manga, as it shows Shikamaru heading into battle against Code with Naruto. Code so far in the story has struggled to pin down his authority as the main antagonist, well currently the main antagonist, and having a confrontation with seemingly zero consequence doesn't really help his case. But if he does kill Shikamaru, this could change things. Also in chapter 64, there were so many death flags, from Shikamaru saying I'm coming with you Naruto, from him telling Naruto to not overdo it, along with having concerns for Naruto not buying the whole wisdom of age, believing that his sage mode will not hold up against Code. Now this, along with Ino's previous words to be careful, holistically and thematically it kinda makes sense that Shikamaru will lay down his life to protect Naruto's survival. We have witnessed the deaths of some very important characters like Jiraiya, Neji, Asuma, Shikamaru's own father in the Naruto Shippuden series, so Shikamaru dying is a possibility which should be considered, especially because he's one of the fan favorites. As we have witnessed through Kurama's death, a major character's death will always turn heads towards the series commercially, and Shikamaru's death also has the possibility of working as a strong plot device. So that's why in my opinion Shikamaru's death seems the most likely. But let us know who you guys think will die in the Boruto series, and if we have missed any other characters with a lot of death flags, let us know down below and start a discussion. Also make sure to check out Ian's channel Naruto Explained, as he goes balls deep into Naruto every other day. Smash the like button, subscribe, and ding that notification bell to stay updated. Till then guys, we'll catch you lot next time.